What's going on, everybody? This is Gen716 back here again, and today I want to ask the question now, with the recent commitment of Terrence Ferguson, making Alabama have four guys, especially on the offensive line position, that are each in the top two of their respective positions, whether it's at the guard, tackle, or center position. If Alabama grabs that fifth guy, whether if it's a Trishan Lay or Amarius Mims, will this be the greatest offensive line class in recent memory, at least in the modern day era? Because of course, we got to go all the way back to the the 70s and the 80s, and you got to go all the way back. So, but in the modern day era, right, we've never seen a recruiting class that has come even this close to being just this damn talented as far as you just look at the 5 and 4 star ratings. I mean, there have been some really good recruiting classes, right? You can go back to 2019's Alabama's recruiting class when they had Pierce Quick and they had Darian Delcourt and Tanner Balls and 5-star and Evan Neal and Amari Kite. But, again, you had guys that were borderline 4-star guys and Darian Delcourt and Tanner Balls at the time. And then, of course, you had the higher up with Evan Neal and Pierce Quick and Amari Kite. You can look at the University of Georgia back in 2018 with their recruiting class with Trey Hill, who was a top 100 prospect. Cade Mays was a 5-star tackle. Jamari Slater was a 5-star tackle. You can go back to that 2020, recently, the 2020 recruiting class with the Clemson Tigers, looking guys like Paul Ticcio. Clemson had 7 offensive linemen. 4 of them were 4-star guys. And I think 3 of them were in the top 100 in their respective positions. So we've seen some great recruiting classes, some great recruiting offensive lines going back to recent memory. But the fact that you have a guy like James Brockemeyer, who was the number 1 center and who was the number 1 prospect, even though he's a top 200 prospect, according to the 24/7 composites, he's the number 1 center in the country. You have Terrence Ferguson, who's the number 2 guard in the country. You have Tommy Brockemeyer, who's the number 1 offensive tackle in the country. You have J.C. Latham, a 5-star, who's the number 3 offensive tackle in the country. And now if Alabama, because they're on board of getting a guy like Amarius Mims, who's ready to make his commitment on August 15th, but has Alabama as one of his top options, Amarius Mims is the second best, and he's a 5-star tackle. Trey Lay is a 5-star offensive tackle, the number 4 guy. That's a possibility that Alabama can get. And even if Alabama can't really land those guys, there are some other guys out there like William Parker, who's a 3-star offensive tackle. I think there's like 2 more other options that are borderline 4-star to 3-star prospects. But even if Alabama lands one of those guys, it's still a phenomenal recruiting overhaul, and it would be one of the greatest offensive line classes of all time. It just probably wouldn't be the best. But yeah, if they grab a Trishan Lay, Amarius Mims, this is the best offensive line as far as you look at the star rankings, you look at the talent perspective, it's the best. And, just to not focus, just looking at other different positions, there is JaQuincy McKinstry, who has Alabama in his top 3. There is Jason Marshall, a 5-star cornerback who has Alabama in his top 5. There are other prospects that are 4 and 5 stars like Shamar Turner out there who has Alabama as one of his top options. Bama, this could be an all-time great Alabama recruiting class, and we talked about the 2020 class, even though they finished number 2. It is an all-time great class if you look at the different type of positions, especially at the linebacking position. Bama pretty much dominated that area. You look at the 2019 class, which was an all-time great class as far as the offensive tackles. You look at how they focused a lot on the trenches, and then you look at the running back position they clearly dominated in. Alabama's had some all-time great classes. We've seen some all-time great classes like Ohio State and what we've seen from Clemson. But this class right here could be the best Alabama recruiting class, or one of the best recruiting classes that we've seen maybe since the 2018 recruiting class with the Georgia Bulldogs. If you look at their average talent ranking, whether it was a 5 and 4 star or whatever star recruit it was, their average talent ranking was all Georgia. And even though Ohio State, they're on pace for that record, because Ohio State is just dominating the recruiting rankings. They're getting a crap ton of top 100 prospects. Alabama is catching up, and they're on the way to getting it. And if Alabama can land some more blue chip players, which we are in July, we're about 4 to 5 months away before we get to that early signing day period. Bama could catch up to Ohio State, or maybe even surpass them as potentially overtaking Georgia for that all-time recruiting class as far as just their average talent ranking, not just by the commits there. So anyway, guys, let me know below in the comment section if you think this will be an all-time great Alabama class, and do you think that Alabama will land Demarius Mims or one of the other big 5-star or top 100 blue chipper offensive linemen? And do you think that this will be an all-time great Alabama offensive line recruiting class? Let me know below the comment section below, and we can definitely hash that out below the comment section below. So anyway, guys, Gen716, I'll catch you guys later. Make sure to stay safe. Always wear a mask, especially because we're going through these troubled times. And I'm out. Peace.